Good day everyone. I'm back for another edition of Teach and Learn.
In this video, I am going to explore the Assure instructional design model.
This model was developed by Heinrich and Melinda in 1999.
The Assure instructional design model is designed from the constructivist standpoint to improve the learning environment by analyzing the learner's attributes, integrating the selection and utilization of multimedia materials and technology, and evaluating the effectiveness to enhance the overall learning experience. As applied to research, we are going to take the same steps but with some adjustments. The intention of improving the achievements of pupils is the same. We will also focus on the development of appropriate strategies, intervention materials, or innovative solutions to address learners' needs. The difference is that we will explore a research problem through the framework of the Assure model. So, sit back, relax, and learn or relearn something. The acronym Assure stands for the various steps in the model and refers to an instructional design approach to enhance teaching and learning.
Letter A stands for analyzing learners. S is for state standards and objectives. Another S means select strategies, technology, media, and materials. U stands for utilizing technology, media, and materials. R is to require learner participation and E means to evaluate and revise. The first step in the model is to analyze learner characteristics. You may concentrate on the learner's attributes that relate to the learning outcomes. Your decision on teaching methods and resources will be influenced by your assessment of the learner's personalities.
Analysis of your learners may include the general attributes of your learners such as age, academic abilities, gender interest, etc., prior competencies, and learning styles. Analysis of learners in research involves identifying not only their profile characteristics but also learning gaps that must be addressed immediately. Otherwise, the learners involved might be left behind. Academic records of learners may be analyzed to determine their achievements or non-achievements of the learning competencies. For example, we analyze the learner's characteristics by item analysis of their test results. In action research, we just limit our scope to specific variables in the learner's context. For example, you have found out that 75% of your male students and 60% of the female students got wrong answers on the test items about solving two variable equations. So, your learners' characteristics are they have difficulty in solving problems involving two variable equations.
And you are concerned only with this problem-solving difficulty by sex. Those are our variables in research. So, what will you aim for? Let us go to the next step. State standards and objectives are the second step. What the students will be able to do because of the instruction is specified in this statement. This statement will concentrate on what the learner will know or be able to do because of the instruction to be more specific about things. When applying this step to research, we will state our research objective. In our example, our objective might be to assess and improve the problem-solving ability of students involving two variable equations through different strategies, media, materials, or technological applications that were not yet used in teaching. We could also aim to identify whether there is a difference in their performance when we apply two different strategies or materials or a difference in performance between males and females in your class. The point of inquiry might be what strategy or materials would help them achieve the standard performance or would lead to the mastery of that problem-solving skill. Given your learning objectives, it's important to choose instructional strategies, technology, and media that will produce the desired outcomes. The second S in the acronym stands for select strategies, technology, media, and materials. Determine which delivery strategy will work best for your instruction first. It's time to decide which technology, media, and resources will best support the teaching strategy you've chosen once you've made that decision. In research, you must review several kinds of literature if there are materials or strategies used by other researchers in teaching how to solve two variable equations. If you have chosen one or two strategies or materials from other sources, you must acknowledge the source. It is better to contextualize the delivery strategy depending on the learner's characteristics. In this case, your strategy will be different, and you refrain from lifting plainly from the original author. Often, researchers are encouraged to innovate by creating their intervention strategy or materials.
For example, you have created algebra puzzles and balancing equation games to help learners develop their skills in solving problems involving two variable equations.
You must state the steps and how these strategies or teaching learning materials will be used.
As with all instructional steps, you must ensure that your plans support the achievement of the objectives that you have established. This assure step entails developing a plan for how you will use the technology, media, and materials that you have chosen. In research, you are going to try these interventions, algebra puzzles and balancing games, to separate a sample of learners selected randomly from your class. You may set the number of days and frequency of in-class or off-class sessions. Your research methodology must be put in place.
Requiring learner participation is the next step in the Assure model.
This step belongs in earlier steps because it requires you to plan how you are going to actively involve your students in the material you will use in teaching, at both the class and individual levels. Requiring your students to be participative with your interventions means being sensitive to their attendance and how they perform the learning activities you have prepared for them.
You must address problems or issues that may arise.
You may first test your interventions with other students to see if you need adjustments to intervention materials. Of course, you must explain the purpose of learners' participation and what is expected of them as participants.
You must consider some ethical considerations like confidentiality of personal information, voluntary participation, informed consent, and anonymity. These ethical considerations are part of requiring learner participation whether in pilot testing or actual utilization of conceptualized and contextualized materials or strategies being part of the conduct of the study. The next step is to evaluate and revise.
In this step, you assess the effects of your instruction on student learning, considering your teaching methods as well as the technology, media, and resources you employ. In your research, you may administer a test to determine the effects of your intervention, innovation, or strategy. Get the mean scores and compare the performance of the students. You can use statistical tests to determine if there is a significant difference in their performance using the two strategies as stated in our sample research.
The results will serve as evidence for revision and improvement when necessary.
Positive results will mean the strategies and materials you use are effective with your set of pupils and can be tried out or used by other students with the same problem. The Assure model can be used as a framework for conducting action research.
Try to make one, use this model. You will be guided.